Hello.
Hello,
Welcome back,
hello.
friends. Uh
Oh,
yes. Sorry. I just noticed something in chat, so I was like, "Oh, yes, cool." Um that is all good. We just completed the whole job. We have your hull, Kristen. How cool is that?
I know.
Um so let's do all the things. Let's do
Let's do all the things.
all the stuffs you
Yeah,
do at the end of a score.
awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'm opening it up in the compendium.
Oh,
I like how our break is like 3 minutes, right? Or something, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And in that time, I was like, yes, we got Penance's Hall. That's so exciting. Okay, we got the hall. Now I need it to be able to hold 2 or 3 spirits. And also, how do I make a mother hall? Like already.
Yeah.
It's blades. It's blades.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. But yeah. Okay, so let's see. So you earn 2 rep per score by default. If the target of the score is a higher tier than you, yeah, we established that they are, right?
Yeah, they're tier 2, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Right, right. And you guys are at tier. Are
Donut.
we one We're already at tier. Yeah, we're at 1, right?
No, we're tier 0.
Ooh.
Oh, I thought we moved up to tier
Yeah.
1. Okay,
Not
okay.
yet. No, it cost a lot of coin to move
Oh,
to tier
so
1.
close. Right, 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 right. I
That's
remember we
right.
were stopped by the coin. Okay, so you
Yeah.
earn another 2 rep, so that's 4 rep in total.
All right, so that puts us over. That puts us at. So we didn't have quite enough rep to go up, and now we do, with
Okay.
especially because of our turf. So we're two rep. Oops, no, don't go away. That's it. So we're 2 rep over, and
Nice, nice.
but we're frozen at tier 0 unless we spend. I think it's 4 or 8 coin. I have to look it up.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot of coin to go up because you have to
Right,
like
right.
improve all our gear. But
Mhm.
it's pretty worth it because all of our stuff gets better.
Right.
So yeah, so that's pretty slick.
Mhm.
Let's do the rest of that stuff though. Rest of that
Nice, nice,
downtime.
nice. Okay, so earning coin. This is gonna be hard because there wasn't
Yeah.
really. You got the hull, which is like a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that translates to coin. What do you think, Sean? Like, is there a way that you could have like somehow? Wow, things are so chaotic.
Yeah, I mean, so a couple different ideas. We a couple different thoughts I have, and I'm open to any of these. One, you could have grabbed some other like high tech gear in that vault when you left off, and like that's worth a little bit of coin. Two, one of our 2 patrons, either Klein or the Dimmer sisters, could pay us for this job, but if they did, I think they would definitely expect some access to the hall. I mean, the Dimmer sisters do already, but like I think if they were going to pay us for this job, then that they will actually hold. 3, Grounder could make a really ballsy move and go to Lamp Blacks and be like, "You bastards, set me up. If you want to be good, with the Railjacks, you're going to pay me for that, letting you in the door. Like I opened the door for you to get in. Like I could go and be like, I could go and say like I expect Lampax to like pay out, and then 4th option is like we just did it for the hull, and the hull's what we got. Like that's all we cared about, and that's all there is to it. And I'm open to any of those ideas, but I think that's where I could see us making some coin. What do you think, Kristen? What do any of those sound?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I it's kind of cool Grounder going to the Lamp Blacks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the only option. Because I don't think, as much as like I would love to say, yeah, I grabbed a bunch of stuff while I was in there. I mean, I made it clear Penance was so one tracked. She
Mm-hmm.
just left Angelo. It just narratively doesn't make sense to me. So I'm also happy to say we were just in it for the haul. It was a one
Right.
A one
Yeah.
track mind score.
I think Grounder would totally do that, but I think he'd have to split the coin with the Railjacks. I think so. Like, let's
Mhm.
say you're like, cool, the Lampbacks will give you 6 coin or whatever. I think like we would only get 3 because like
Yeah.
Grounder isn't a member of the Rusted Lock. Like he isn't. He's gonna have to at least split it. So yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with him coming back to Pickett and being like, I opened the door for you. And even like ignoring the whole "you sent your goons after me," even pretending like that didn't happen, just being like,
Wow. Yeah.
you know, like clearly you had your own agenda, and maybe that would be like a fortune roll to see what kind of coin they would give, because I think
Yeah.
I could totally see Pickett being like, "Get the hell out of my house," or it could be, "Sure, we'll give you a pittance," or it could be like, "Yeah, you did me a solid," and pretending like she didn't betray me and like hope I didn't notice or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and roll fortune. Let's see.
I'd like to roll 2 dice based off my consort.
Oh, nice.
That sounds right. Because he's going to come up and be like, so you want to make this right? It's not a forceful, like, you need to pay us. It's just like, you want to keep things cool?
Ooh, we got a 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
so
gonna
bueno.
say, yeah. You know what? I keep blanking on the name.
Pickett?
Pickett, right?
Yeah.
I think when you come in and make your demands, you realize they're not in the mood because Pickett just came back from the fight,
Yeah.
and she just bled out there and died right in front of them. And so when you come in to make those, and you don't know that's what happened, right? They were blocking the body and stuff when you were trying to talk to them, and then when one of them finally moves, you see what happened, and they just look at you and say, "Consider us even."
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think we got no coin this
And that feels right, doesn't it? Like that seems right.
Yep. I think it's right.
I'm not mad at that.
No. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Heat is going to be really interesting. Heat is really interesting to me because I don't know how to gauge this. Normally I say, well, anything that happens on a score, that's a scoundrel's fault. But or it's not their fault, but it's on them. But this was clearly not just our score. This was also a gang war that happened to happen next to our score. So normally I'd be like, well, there was death, there was mayhem, we get oodles of heat. But I don't know how much of that's actually tracked to us and how much of that's attributed to the Lampblacks, the Red Sashes, the Arcbenders, etc. So
yeah.
I don't know. How do you all feel about like whether our part of this, whether the amount that the Rusted Lock was noticed was, smooth and quiet,
opening
contained,
the door,
loud and chaotic, wild.
Yeah. I do think people would be able to recognize that it was you that opened the door, but that's about it. Because like that was something that Penance gave as a devil's bargain.
Yeah.
But everything else was super chaotic.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking, but I'm also thinking about Athea and all that ghost stuff that was going on, like ripping through people and people
that
seeing
that might have been noticed by one,
That's true.
Right? And
I think that's
some
really
people could have talked about it, like connect the dots, like, there seems to be this scary ghost that seems to follow this particular cult around. Right. So I would argue for like 3 heats, but what do you all think?
Yeah, I think 3 heat is very fair.
That makes sense.
3 heat puts us.
I'm gonna mark it.
Yeah, puts us 1 way from wanted.
Ooh.
Jimmy,
okay, we have downtime actions.
We do, but I'm going to argue for us to go over, because I'm that kind of guy who's like, I would argue against myself. I think 3 heat is fair. I think it's fair to say that this was I don't know if this is a hostile turf because we're not actually at war with the Arcbenders. but killing was involved. Like definitely
Mhm.
people freaking died. And
Yeah,
so
for sure.
spirit
True,
wardens
that's
were
true.
there, and like there's no way for us to necessarily clean our there's no
Yeah,
way
and
for
there's
us to necessarily like separate ourselves from that killing, even though we didn't do it.
Yeah.
I can't even actually
Yeah.
guarantee we didn't do it. I don't know the grounder didn't end somebody in that brawl. Like we didn't focus on that part, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, there's the fact that there's one dead body that was left behind that was killed by a ghost, very obviously. So the spirit wardens are going to be like,
Yeah, and we have,
Yeah.
and that ghost is like your bud, and like we have the hull that was clearly contained in that like hull containing vault. So if they come, they're gonna be like, "Where's the like it all?" I think we should get 2 more heat.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it was we were not stealthy. Yeah, I'm with you.
cool.
I didn't even think about the fact that they had trapped the hull in that vault. And you're right, spirit wardens might be like, wait, what?
Like this is supposed to be a warehouse, not a hull trap, and yeah. And
Yeah.
also, the last time we reduced heat, we did it by pointing them at the Arcbenders. We were like, we didn't do weird, spooky stuff. The Arcbenders did. So their like propensity to like investigate them would be even higher.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. I marked us at 1 wanted level and 2 heat.
Woohoo.
Now we have hardly any heat. We're just wanted by the law.
Totally fine.
All good. All right.
Okay.
And then entanglements. Oh, do our
Mhm.
faction statuses change?
Ooh. Oh
feel
my
like-
gosh.
Anybody?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So I'm gonna say I think you're even with the lamp black, so that's fine.
Yeah.
The red sashes though, I'm trying to think. But he didn't outright. I think really at this point it's just the Arcbenders.
Yeah.
I think
If
so
they
too.
know
I
that
don't
you
feel
exist.
like 2 people in the middle of a fight that didn't actually target any red sashes. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's just the Arcbenders.
nice. We don't have status with them right now because they had a personal beef with Penance. But what do you think?
Yeah.
Where do you think we are with them after this?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna say because you took the hull.
I feel like -2.
I feel
or
like
even
-2.
-3. Either one
Yeah.
makes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
mad at war either.
Oh,
It's
and
the
you
hull.
also left him. I'm gonna say -3 because you left him. And he got
So we're
really
wanted
hurt.
and we're at war. I
Or-
love this game.
We're just
Because
like,
that's-
cool. We just ended our war with the Dimmer sisters. Now we're at war with.
It's fine. It's fine.
Right, because like
All
you
right.
left
I will.
inside Jessica and you left James.
We
I'm
just
going to
did
make one
all the
argument
things.
for. I'm going to make one argument for hostile,
Okay,
and that is that I don't know that the Arcbenders are actually in a position to go to war with us right now. I think that they're going to have
because they
so
just
much
got
trouble
fucked,
from the
right.
spirit. I think the spirit wardens are going to be all up their asses. They just
Mhm.
lost their hull. I think that they're going to have so many problems that they probably hate us and would love to go to war with us, but I don't think they actually have the resources or energy to do it.
That's a good point.
I would argue for hostile, and anytime they have the opportunity to tip over to war, they would. But
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I feel that makes sense. Totally fair. I mean, they had like 2 factions get into the warehouse and fuck shit up. So
yeah, and the,
that's a
good
and
point.
the
They were
blue
obviously
coats and
after
spirit
something,
ones are going to be
right?
there, and
Yeah.
I
They
just
were dealing
don't.
with that
I
for a
don't think
while.
they your hold weakens when you go to war, and I just don't think they need their hold weakening anymore. In fact, I would even
Right.
argue that this score should weaken their hold, honestly, because we took their hold. I think we took such an I think it's such an important thing to them that their hold should go from strong to weak. I don't
Yeah.
know if that sounds right to you.
100%.
Cool. So I'm marking them as weak now. So if they were to go to war, instead of being tier 2 strong, they'd go down to tier 2 weak because of the score, and then when you're at war, you're at 1 lower, so it'd be at tier 1 strong. They drop a whole tier if they
A
decided to
whole
go war.
tier. Yeah.
Just because we hurt them, and sometimes you just have to take your licks.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will never regret saying that. Sure,
I'm
Jamie
sure they
be
will
like,
never come back again. We'll never hear about Jessica Angelo the Arcbender after tonight.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Next step. Yeah.
Okay. So
I
we're doing
think it's-
entanglements on the Discord.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And
do we
now
just go
downtime.
into downtime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Kristen, you have downtime stuff you want to do?
Oh boy. Are we doing... Oh wow. Are we going to do downtime with Grounder?
Yeah.
And
I think
right?
he's around to... I mean, I think he doesn't show up immediately, but I think he comes back after he like... I think he kind of shows up like the next day and yeah, I think he's... But yeah, I think he's going to want to make sure everything's okay with you before he gets back on the rail. He's going to check in. So yeah, I think downtime with Grounder makes sense.
Yeah.
You have any?
I was looking at recover. I was trying to see if we could if we should indulge a vice together, or if we should just hang out and talk.
I like any of those options. Where's Penance at stress wise? Oh yeah, she could use some indulgence.
Penance definitely needs to indulge a vice.
Yep.
I
have a kind of cheatery thing. Not cheatery. I have a suggestion, which is we have resolve trained. We have resolve training.
Yeah.
We have enhanced resolve training, which means if you were to spend a downtime action to train and resolve, you would get 2 XP in resolve. If you spent one of those XP getting a dot in command, consort, or sway, you would then have 2 dots in resolve, and then your indulge vice would go from 1D because it's your lowest attribute, which is right now resolve. It would go from 1D to 2D, and then if you indulge, you would always be better at indulging vice after that.
Oh,
I mean that is really mechanical shenanigery, but I pull mechanical shenanigeries both ways. I'm happy to give us more heat, make us wanted. I'm also
right. I also think that training makes more sense if Grounder and Penance are going to do something together.
Mm-hmm.
Training makes more sense than indulging in a vice. I don't think we're because mine is weird. I don't think we're hanging out watching rituals together after this
Grounder
score.
has no interest in checking.
Yeah,
your fascination with ghosts. He's like, that's
out.
my day job, lady.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I have no desire to go to the Veil and dabble with possession. That's miserable. Cool.
Training sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm happy to take that action as well, to train and resolve. Do you have any idea what it looks like? What do you want to take a dot in?
I was just looking at that. Do we have to go see a trainer? I can't remember how trained that. I should pull this up. No.
I mean, we can bring NPCs in if we think that they're applicable.
Okay. I'm trying to look at the. I know that you're taking an action too in this, but I like the idea that Grounder is actually the one that's going to be training Penance. Can that be a thing?
That sounds super cool.
It just I feel like after what we went through, that she would ask him, I don't know, just basically advice, life experience type of advice, right? That then helps her. But I'm trying to figure out what dot. I mean, I kind of want to go to attune.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the most sense to me. You were possessed. Penance has a Thea. She has
I feel like if Grounder was going to teach you anything, it would be how to talk to people like people, and it would be consort. But
okay,
if that isn't your but it's totally he 100% can tell you stories about being on the rail and possessions and things like that too. Like,
Yeah.
like I am super down for it. If you put it in a tune, your vice roll will not improve because it's only based on your
True.
attributes. But
True.
you know, like follow your love. If a tune is like where you want penance to advance, then absolutely do it.
Here's why I'll take consort, because I think that Ankh can help me with a tune as well as others, right? Like I feel like you're right. Consort, I'm not sure if that's something we have. Okay. Sorry, I've talked about this too long. I'm going to take a dot in
All good.
consort.
Cool.
So I will just uncheck I'll clear my resolve track.
Nice. Yeah. And I think it kind of looks like this, where Grounder's like, if it's cool, he's like, I think this is how it plays out. We're all taking heat. Blue coats are going to come in there. Afterwards, they're going to arrest some people to show that they did. But what's really going to be messed up is the spirit warrens. They're going to be on top of all of us. Since you've got the hull, I think we just kind of had to play it cool and let the Lampblacks off the hook. And we're just gonna pretend like that whole chase on the rooftops thing never happened. We're gonna say we're good, and even though we know they betrayed us, you know, we're not gonna push it. And you know, and this is kind of like his advice. Like, this is how you like deal with gangs: is you let things slide sometimes, and you just kind of shrug and you go, "Well, it sucked," but you know,
Yeah, I think, and we don't have to drag this out, but I think Penance's her hang up that like you have to talk her past is, how can you just let that go? Like how do you just actually let that go and move on? This is like real life therapy.
Yeah.
So we don't have to play it out. I think that's her hang up, right? I think she's just really like, and so yeah, I think that after a while, I feel like we see a montage of like time passing and finally Penance.
Exactly.
Like,
I was gonna say,
okay.
like the camera pans around. Grounder like finally has his pipe and he like stokes it. And he's about to say something like really insightful about understanding how people are fallible and whatnot. But like we enter, you know, like it like cuts to inaudible as you see them and they're talking and whatnot.
Yeah. Cool.
I love that. That's the like, how do you let it go? Because I feel like that's an important question for Penance to resolve in her own heart.
Yeah.
How do you let go of betrayal?
How do you let it go?
And Grounder seems to be like, yeah, I got betrayed, but you know, whatever.
Right.
He does not hold grudges like Penance does. I love it. Cool. So I took that training action as well. That's fun. Do you want to go indulge your vices?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out with Salia.
Yeah, let's hang out with Salia.
Yeah, it been full last time I remember, right? Like,
yeah.
I think when Salia shows up, and it's one of those things where even before you reached out to them to call them, they just appeared. This time, they're wearing the body of, let's see, I'm going to say it's a blue coat that shows up. So there's a moment where like, why is there a blue coat here? And then they wink like Salia does at you.
Oh, yeah.
And Salia says, oh, I love stealing one of these sometimes. Just, it's nice getting into the muck, right? The muck of life. And you just roll around in the sleeves. You could use that once in a while. So how about we go try to see what we can do? You won't believe how open these blue coats are to this sort of thing.
Oh. Yeah, I think Penance is excited. Oh, but Penance also has a little jar of life essence for her. I don't think she gives it to her every single time, but definitely when they're going to go, when Salia is going to show her something new or different, I think she always does. So she has a little jar of life essence. The life essence cookies we've discussed.
yeah, exactly. Shaped in the cookies. Right. And I think there's a moment where Salia is like, you can tell that they want to bring up something, but they don't, like they're talking around something. They're like, oh, so I heard a lot has been happening around in the Crow's what area recently, but you know they leave it there, like they're not going to push and prod.
Yeah.
But you can tell like maybe the rumors of Athea have reached Thalia, right?
Oh, okay.
But yeah, shall we roll and see how this goes?
Yes, let's do that. Okay. The indulge vice, the very helpful indulge vice button on your character sheet in Roll20
Does it all.
So
does
true.
everything for you. If I could just put the dice amount in.
You don't need to. It does the dice for you.
I feel like I cheated. I shouldn't have 3.
You should only have 2, but it's fine.
Yeah,
Any
hold on,
combination
let
of
me-
those 2 would still be a 4. It's fine.
True.
Are you sure? I can remove. Okay.
Yeah. Totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so that removes 4 stress, right?
Yes.
Nice. And we do not overindulge. Excellent.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And I think what Thalia takes you to is there's this like small group of blue coats that like
Mhm.
regularly show up. Like they think they're just showing up to like de-stress. They think that they're just showing up to like indulge in some newfangled drug, and they don't realize that they're just opening themselves up to be possessed, right?
Yeah.
And so you see like a group of them. Like when you walk in, it's like a small room at the back of a bar, right? And then when you walk in, you see like a few blue coats like just slumped over, mouth and eyes open, just completely like staring off and you don't see the ghost directly, but you can feel their presence, and they're just chatting with each other like, oh yeah, like this one really has a thing for like murder. It's so I guess that's why they hire these people, right? Like there's just this kind of they're just talking amongst themselves and trying to understand things. And Thalia's like, oh yeah, looks like they already started without us, but let's see how it is, right?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
I think does Penance, because I know when we left, Athea wasn't with me. So has she felt Athea come back, or do we want to maybe not address that right now?
I would like to interrupt that question,
please.
If it's okay, because that's when you're like, I'm going to go off of this thing. I want to ask your consent for this first because it's affecting your character. But I would like to work on a long-term project to get Athea out of penances. I want to take ticks off the clock. I want to remove ticks off Thea's control because I'm marked by her. I want to take ticks off the clock by like distracting her and like she was like, I'm gunning for you, and I'm like, okay, cool. Is that okay with you, Kristen? I don't want to like mess with your...
but now I'm emotionally attached to Grounder, and I don't like that.
I know.
Yes, I think that's an awesome idea. It feels right for Grounder too.
Yeah, and so I'd like to say that like if you're like thinking like, oh, where is she? She doesn't show up because I haven't like gotten her out of you, but I would. Does that seem like a reasonable long-term project to you, Jamie? That I could work on like instead of adding ticks to a clock, I could remove ticks from the clock.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I have a contact, Vicaria, a whisper, and. Ooh. I am gonna go and what faction do you think she's with, Jamie? I was thinking maybe Dimmer Sisters just to keep things in the mix, but I could also see her being like one of the other like scary like the Church of the Flame or the Cult of the Ecstasy of the Flesh. I could see her like if you want to introduce like another the Forgotten Gods, like I could feel like she could be anywhere.
Yeah. Ooh.
And it seems a little too neat and tidy for him to go to the Dimmer Sisters and be like, she's one of yours, call her back or something like that. Like that would be cool, but I just don't think Grounder is like that savvy. I think he's just like, I've seen a bad one.
Yeah. Ooh.
He did.
I think.
Yeah. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was just saying, he did say that the Dimmer Sisters were the ones who pulled the really ugly ghost out of him back, the one that possessed him wrong and that made his eyes turn gold. And I kind of hinted that that was a really powerful ghost that could actually be a Thea, but like that was complete or like a Thea.
Yeah.
So I could see reasons why he would go to see them, because he's like, oh, you've dealt with powerful ghosts before, you know how to do things. But again, happy to be any faction you think is cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's have, because I have such a cool picture of a character that I want to.
Of course you do.
Of course you do.
that I want to use.
Jamie and they're
Vicaria.
amazing. Yeah. Vicaria, a whisper.
Okay, let me write that down. Da, da, da. I'm gonna say that they're from a cult. Like they're only known as like a cult that worships the god that sleeps in the ground. But when you go to this place, like it's this small, like it's not even a house, right? It's like a hut almost. That's just by the edge. Like it's built under the docks, right? So it's hard to get to, right? And it's in this part where like once you reach it, like the outside of it is just overgrown with fungus, like all these weird different mushrooms that shouldn't be growing in this area, right? And when the door opens, you see Vicaria, and they're just completely covered in the fungus and the mushroom, right? And they have this like blindfold around their eyes, and she stops and sniffs the air. Grounder, it's been a while.
He kind of inhales that like moldy fungal scent, like musty. And I think she can smell the pipe smoke off of him. And he goes, yeah, gotta live up to my namesake one more time. I need to make a ghost come for me instead of somebody else. He kind of like cracks his neck, like this isn't the first time this has happened.
And she stops and sighs. And when she does, like you can see, like when she breathes in, there's something like the way a mushroom has gills along the side of her neck that like breathes in and out for a moment, right, before it settles back into the skin. And she says, Grounder, I told you last time that if you pushed your body to do this again, that I wouldn't be able to protect you.
Yeah, you did. And he kind of nurses his like cracked rib. And he's like, I know. Sometimes them's the breaks. Sometimes you make good decisions. Sometimes you make dumb ones. It's time to make some dumb ones.
And she smiles, and you can see like she has like all of these like implements in front of her, like a mortar and pestle and stuff, and several like there's bubbling liquids in some places. And she says, very well, and what will you give to the god that sleeps underneath the ground in exchange for this help?
I think there's some like fungus growing on the wall, and he sort of pets it like it's an animal, gently. And he says, I think last time you said that you wanted to spread your seed. Next time I'm on the rail, next time I'm on the rail. And basically he'll like take some of her like fungus and like plant it out somewhere in the Deathlands, somewhere where it can grow, or in another city, maybe. Like next time he goes on the rail, he'll like plant some of it in another city for her. Because, he's got opportunity to transport it. Of course, it's super illegal in contraband. He has to hide it, smuggle it. He might have to like put it under his clothes, like against his chest. It might grow on him a little. Who knows? But
actually, yeah, she was about to offer. Well, we'll have to make sure that these precious seeds aren't found, And so she waits for you to offer your forearm.
Yeah.
And I think the camera pans. We just see her placing the fungus along your arm, and then the camera moves around behind you, and when it comes back, like the arm is smooth again, but there's a little ripple under the skin.
Nice.
And we're not sure what she did.
Yeah. It's a good opportunity for Grounder to be able to like roll up his sleeves. You know, we can see him. Yeah. I love it.
And there's a moment where she says, if the dreams get to be a little too much, let me know and I can adjust. But she says, but very well. We will do as you ask. And so let's see what that roll looks like.
Yeah. So I think this is a tune. And Grounder is like shirtless. You know, he's a big, hairy guy, big round belly, big, like, you know, just lots of scars, not super sexy scars, not like, I've been in battle, just lots of like, oh, man, he's been at scrapes and banged and whatnot. And he's like, he's like shirtless, and they're like playing with some mushroom fungus. He's like stirring over a cauldron or something, and reading some things that she says. And I think at the end he just says Athea, and like somehow he knows her name. I don't know. And he's like, come here, you know. So I'm gonna roll a tune. I'm gonna get +1 die for +1 die for Vicaria, and I'm going to push myself to get +1 die as well, which is going to trauma me, which is just perfect.
Kristen's face.
I think he should be messed up by this experience, so trauma in this case seems perfectly sensible. It's a fortune roll.
The trauma.
Standard 2 bonus dice. Oh my lord. Man, Athea doesn't want to.
Wow.
Athea doesn't want to.
Doesn't that still at least untick one?
It unticks one. Yeah.
But wow.
Okay. But 3 ones. Okay. Why did you go do that? And I'll explain what happened.
Yeah. We'll figure out what a trauma is. I can imagine lots of different ones. Yes, so I will untick this, and yes, please tell me how it works. I'm happy to like buy that up, but I don't have any coin myself. I'd have to spend coin out of the Rusted Lux coffers, and Grounder doesn't have access to that. So I think that's it. I think it's just I'm just buying you 1 tick.
Oh, it was so much effort for 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think when you call that name, before the last syllable even leaves your lips, you hear a voice right by your ear saying, "You have no right to have my name in your mouth, little one." And there's a moment where you realize like time has frozen, because you see Vicaria is frozen, like her hands are outstretched in the middle of the moment, right, of the ritual, and like even the spores that were like collecting in the air have stopped moving, and Athea shifts behind you, like she's not allowing you to see her face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "You were able to get rid of me last time, little one. But I hadn't fed as much then. I am very, very well fed now. And I'm only getting stronger every moment. This is your last warning. I'm only not hurting you because she likes you."
I think I was hesitant between obsessed and soft as trauma, and I'm going to take obsessed because it allows me to say this line. Grounder slaps his belly really hard.
I'm sorry.
so it like jiggles, like he like smacks out of his belly because he's bare chested right now, and he's like, get in while the eating's good, like just bring it. So I'm gonna take obsessed. He is obsessed with this ghost that got away and like is now haunting other like good people, and like I think that's gonna be Grounder's purpose now.
Wow.
But he's like way
like,
out of commission. He's sorry, go on, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, as you do that, the last thing is you just see her hand reach out, and like the ends of it, you can see like the fingers reaching out, growing, decaying, right next to your face, and then there's just the smallest scratch by your mouth. My name never in your mouth again, little one. Before she fades.
Nice.
But it's gonna leave like the smallest like ghost of a scar right there.
Little ghost scar.
Little ghost scar.
Little ghost scar. Love it.
Wow. So we're kind of both obsessed with Athea, just in different ways.
Right?
Yeah, I think Athea is like your new thing, and I think she's my old thing. And I don't think we realized that we were bound by her. But
amazing.
I feel like I thought she was long gone, and then I was like, what? Like, and now Grounder's like, wait, why did Rosie ask me to help them? Wait, like now he's like, he doesn't suspect penance, but he totally thinks like, what fate? He doesn't believe in gods, really.
Yeah.
But he's like, what weird fickle fates have brought us back together? Like, he liked you before. Now he's obsessed, not with penance, but with like this ghost that she has.
Right.
And he feels like there's forces at work. There's strange forces at work that have brought us together. When he realizes that it's the same. It's that it is in fact the same ghost.
Yeah.
So. Love it.
Wow.
Happy for triple ones. Whoever thought that'd be so good.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Triple ones.
Yeah. I am good. If you want to take more downtime actions with whatchamacallit, with rep, I think
Both rep.
You could do it. There's 2 free. I would not take coin because we really want it for going up in tier. But that's also also flexible.
I don't think, our we're wanted.
Yep.
And I kind of don't want to deal with that because I'd really like, whenever Ankh comes back, I'd really like Penance's open in line to be like, well, we're wanted now. You left and now we're wanted.
Love it.
Yeah.
And I think next downtime, I'll maybe do something more. I know that Penance is going to want.
Well, do you just want an action to spend time with the hull? Because we only need a downtime action if you want a mechanical benefit of some kind. But if you just want to have a role play scene with the hull, we could do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Because what I would like to do eventually, maybe after the next score, is start a clock for figuring out how to put more than one spirit into a hull, how to attach more than one. But although it's important, I don't. It's not something that would be like on Penance's mind right now, right? Like right after all this happened. So I think that's good for next time. Yeah. But yeah, I think she definitely wants to talk to the hull after all this.
Yeah. So where do you keep the hull? Like, is it in the crumbling mansion? Because I assume you don't want Mateus to know about it.
No.
Period, right? Yeah.
No, I don't want Mateus to know about it. Yeah. Where would we keep it? Where would I keep it?
Maybe in what used to be the master bedroom.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's a good place.
Yeah. And I realize it's gonna kind of mirror that crumbling mansion where you got the sensorium last time, right? So it's like, we'll say it's a very similar room and a similar vibe, right? That only occurs to you now.
Yeah.
And there's that moment of like a flashback when you see the Hull like lying down on the same like it was in a chase lounge, right? Where
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the Hull is lying down in that position for a moment, you flash back to being there, and you flash back to just because we can lay on the pain a bit. You flash back to Angelo being there with you.
Oh,
So there's like a shadow of him by the door, just to make it a little more painful.
just to put salt in the wound. Love it.
Love it.
And there's a moment when the Hull turns to look at you, and there's that same strange reflection of the light, that owl-like eye thing. And for a moment, you think the Hull's looking past you and looking at an Angelo that's not there. But then the Hull turns back to you and says, "Mother." And they slowly sit up and they put their knees together, sort of like, you remember the first time you met the Hull, like they acted like a noble and they acted like a very suave person, but now that they're with you, they're very nervous and they're becoming more childlike. And they say, "I wanted to thank you for saving me."
Of course, a mother will always save their children.
And when you say the word mother, you see them light up.
Oh. Tell me about your time there. Were they kind to you? Were you mistreated?
Well, Angela was very kind. Angela would talk about you a lot so that I would know you when I saw you and that I would know what you're like. But Lady Jessica was very distant and didn't like talking to. She called me a thing sometimes.
I think Penance goes over and sits down next to him and like pats his knee. Like it's a very like mother comforting, right? Like someone hurt your feelings and I'm here to tell you that it's okay. And says, let's forget about Lady Jessica for now. She doesn't bring fond memories. But I am glad to hear that Angelo was kind to you and surprised that he spoke of me often.
Yes, he. And then the Hull stops for a moment. There is a fondness, but he was also always very sad when he talked about you. I couldn't always understand it. And you realize that as the Hull is talking to you, that it can sense emotions, right?
Oh.
And so the Hull looks at you like a sadness. It feels like yours, Mother. It feels the same.
I think Penance like pats his leg one more time and then stands up to move away from him or to move away from the Hull as if the distance will help hide any emotions that she's feeling and just makes the comment that most humans feel sadness. It's very common.
And then the Hull looks, like they're apologetic, like they're worried that they upset you. And then they say, but there was never any sadness in Lady Jessica. Only something more hollow, something deeper, something that echoed, something that cried in the dark.
Yeah, I think that I think that she smiles at him to be a little reassuring that they didn't do anything to upset. And Pence doesn't really want to talk about Lady Jessica. So I think that, and we can totally fade out on it, but I think that she's going to start asking the hall how much it remembers. And also, because I think she wants to track, like, how far back does it remember? Does it have any like useful information? And then she also asks for him to tell her his favorite story that Angelo shared. So just all that. I know. She's so emotional.
I think when you ask, there's a moment when the hull stops. And then it's very subtle because the hull's face and their body doesn't change, but their body language starts to look like Angelo's, and the voice starts to shift into Angelo's voice. And the hull says, I remember the first time I saw her. I think that's a refade from.
Yes.
Love it.
There's so much drama. Okay. Is that all of our? That's all of our downtime, right?
It's all Unless you want to spend more. I mean, I'm
good. I'm good.
Yeah. We can end this episode on this very, very sad.
Yes.
Very sad. Yeah.
I think we should. I don't think we should narrate it. We can narrate it next time, but I think we should spend like 4 coin from the crew and 2 coin from Ankh and Penance, and then that would reflect next time when Ankh comes back. Like we've got we've got some reinforcements, and we go up to tier 1. If that sounds good to you,
Cool,
absolutely. Cool. Yeah. We can start with that next time, or we can talk about it through the Discord.
Yeah, either. Yeah, but I think it makes sense. So I'll mark off 2 coin. I'll mark off all the coin.
Yeah. Do we want to do XP, or do we want to do XP in between sessions?
Yeah, no, let's do XP. I think we're still good.
Okay.
Time-wise.
Awesome.
Why don't you start, Penance?
Okay, let's see. First of all, every time you roll a desperate action, mark XP. That's one of the benefits about being in a desperate situation.
Yeah.
You addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem. Yes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
much.
I think that's 2 already.
The whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, everything she did. Yeah, exactly. You express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Absolutely.
There's a lot.
Just take 2. This is all.
So she's going to go over now. You struggled with issues from your vice or traumas during the session. So I don't know that she struggled. I mean, obviously this wouldn't be vice because I didn't like overindulge last time. So I'm not dealing with that like Ankh might be next session. But
aren't you obsessed with Athea?
I'm obsessed with Athea, but it's the
I realize we're both
struggled
obsessed
with
Athea. That's great. Oh, I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I thought you did that on purpose. So yeah.
No, I didn't. I wasn't even looking. That's great. I could change it to paranoid about Athea, but I don't know. I kind of like us both being obsessed. I think.
Yeah, I love it. I love the tie because it was really organic how that came about.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, Kristen, I would argue that you depending so much on Athea to help you
is a struggle. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to clear my track and then take 1 for that. And that's it for me.
Nice. All right.
Nice.
Do Grounder. All right. You performed an act of valor above and beyond your duty as a railjack.
Oh yeah.
I think I did that twice. I did
at
a lot
least
of non-railjacky things. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I feel like much of this game was Grounder and Penance talking about what they know, and I think going and seeing Valkara and showing like that connection to the ghosts and the cults and all that stuff. I feel like that's
2. Yeah,
that was the 2 for. You struggle with issues from your vice or traumas. So my vice is gambling. He's a boxer. That did not come up, but I did get a trauma, and it did haunt me. So I think
I'm gonna take one
for that. So I think that's enough. I'm gonna put 3 of those into resolve.
Yeah.
And that'll get my resolve up, and I think I'm gonna take a dot in. I think I'm gonna take a dot in command because I feel like it's gonna be needed at some point.
Yeah.
It's gonna come up.
Yeah.
I feel like that was like the first time grounders ever like stood his ground against.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Very cool. Very cool.
ghost fighting roughneck. Awesome. And then let's do rusted log.
Crew.
The
Yeah.
crew.
Crew XP. Crew XP.
Where are you? Why are you not scrolling? It's something weird with sometimes.
Ooh, let's see if I can get it to. Okay, so did we advance the agenda of your deity or embody its precepts in action?
Good question.
I don't know that happened this time. This is like a side mission.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
This was a personal.
Yeah.
Because if we were going to change that, that would mean that the hull would have to play into the plans of the demon.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't think it does.
I think this is really Penance's thing.
This is really Penance's
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Okay.
Okay. And then, did you contend with challenges above your station?
So
A little bit.
Yeah, we're going to put 2 XP.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you bolster your crew's reputation or make it ambitious, daring? I would dare say opening the thing to let the fight come into the warehouse,
Yeah.
blowing up the catwalk,
Stealing a whole
talking
right out
down
of
the
the walls.
lamjacks. Yeah. So let's have 2 there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then next, did you express the goals drives your inner conflict
Oh,
or
jeez.
essential nature? I think we saw a lot of inner conflict between in the crew, like with Grounder and Penance, like saying leave it behind, you have to go, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I think that
Also,
came up at least once.
The one you know how like in TV shows like where a cast member is like guaranteed an appearance in an episode, so they have like 1 2-second scene of that character just so that they can be on the cast list. I think that was Ankh, the actress who plays Ankh, like having 2 seconds in the scene, but it was like a tense moment of Ankh and Penance, and Ankh literally telling Penance like to let her guard down. Which is not a thing she would normally advise. And I love that just being like another little.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And so I think actually we can say another XP for like how personal Penance made this, right? Because this really felt like a drive.
Totally. Yeah.
Penance's goal. So let's put in another XP for that.
All right. So that puts us at 1 XP away from advancement.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
If we had just been following Zor, we would have been advancing. But I love that this was not. We didn't get coin.
Nice.
We didn't.
I know this was such a. I know.
Yep.
Excellent.
Awesome. That was so much fun.
Yes.
I think next session we have this leverage over Matthias. I feel like it's time to put it to use. Maybe there'll be some entanglements that are interesting. We're wanted, all sorts of fun stuff, and we'll talk about it in between sessions. So, once again, thanks everyone for hanging out with us. We love this game very, very much, and we love sharing it with you. I'm Sean Nittner. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me over at Sean Nittner. And come back Friday. Judd and I will be playing Traveler, space adventures, space piracy. Not where I expected that Traveler game to go, but there it is. It's very exciting. And on Saturday, I know what days are. We're going to be playing Low Cantriffs. And Jamie and Gian and Luke and Jordan and I will be playing Low Cantriffs, and that should be a good time. So stick with the channel, and we'll have good times. How about you, Kristen?
I'm so glad we did this score. Thank you. We have to focus on Ankh next time. This is super penance heavy, but I loved it.
Oh no, but it's great.
It was great. It was a lot of fun.
It was what we needed. Yeah.
And I loved meeting Grounder and how important Grounder organically became, to Penance and to our story that we're telling. So again, I'm Kristen, she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Kristen is no Jedi. I love gaming, try to do lots of stuff in gaming. So I co-host and edit a podcast called Powered by the Players. It's an actual play podcast where we play all of your favorite PBTA games. They're both one-shots and mini campaigns with a rotating diverse cast that was all the creators are BIMPOC. And I also co-host a bi-weekly actual play live stream that highlights folks of marginalized genders and features a rotating diverse cast, also created by 3 BIMPOCs. And that is They're a Super Geek. They're a Super Geek is on Misdirected Mark. You can find us on Twitch. And Powered by the Players is on Geekspective. And the Geekspective network has lots of other fun shows that you should check out as well. And I do writing and game design and stuff. So if you follow me on Twitter, then you can see that. And I also try to retweet lots of other folks because, wow, is there a lot of talent in this industry. I think that's it for me. How about you, Jamie?
Yeah. So I'm Jamie. I use they, he pronouns. I was so thrilled to be the GM, deliver of drama and desperation this entire time. Really, really good stuff. And you can find me on Twitter at Temporal Hiccup and on itch.io, Temporal Hiccup. I like to make games. My biggest projects right now are Apocalypse Keys, which is going to be published with EvoHat. Oh my gosh. Still not used to that idea. And I also have a game, Cozy Town, that is currently itch funding. Kristen is going to be working on one of the is going to be contributing to that, so if you'd like to check it out. But I'm going to be honest, I have a lot of games that I'm working on that I'd love to share with you all. So the best way to find out is to follow me on Twitter and on itch.io. So that's basically me, and I'm so excited to hang out again soon and play this again soon and talk about it on the Discord.
Yes.
and see what happens when we roll entanglements. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you get a whole 1 die for entanglements now.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, friends, thanks again for hanging out with us. We'll see you again soon. Bye.